Hey guys, welcome to another set of 20 for PSA. I don't really have a towel for this series. I do kind of miss doing PSA Quest for 100 to where we had a very deeper dive on 5 cards at a time. However, this is still a decent little deep dive on 20 cards at a time, and I promise I won't go on to a rant. Once we're done looking through the cards, I may still go on a rant as we look at the cards. So starting off is Typhlosion. I really like how Typhlosion became kind of a fan favorite for a lot of people. I think it's just because he's kind of like a, almost sort of like a weasel animal, but with fire. Okay, so the corner is a little, not that it's like rough, but like it's not exactly cut how you'd really expect it to be. The rest of the border looks really good, and I don't see really any issues. I don't know if they make this card in hollow. I've got the reverse hollow. I wish it was a hollow if they did make it like that. Oh, I see. You can see right there. It's like it's very, it's not whiting. It's just simply cut different. Bordering and centering looks fine on the back. The corner is a little off. Overall, though, since there's no scratches, I think this was a pack fresh. Still come back a 9. If it wasn't for the corner, I probably would guess 10. And make sure you're doing that, by the way. Make sure you are guessing the grades as we go along. So let me just go ahead and get this die put back up. And we can move on to the next one. Start right down. We're guessing 9. I really usually have some sort of dialogue built before we do this. Not scripted, like not written down, but in my head what I'm going to talk about. However, there's not really a big controversy going on in the Pokemon world, like card-wise, so there's really nothing for me to generally talk about right now. I think things are starting to slow down. Nice swirl. In terms of buying and selling, to be honest, which kind of sucks because I still did not get my cards back from the PSA. I think cards will still generally increase in value. However, I don't know if they'll keep up with inflation or not. We'll probably see another spike here in the given time or so. That is absolutely a mirror finish. Okay, so far, as long as everything goes well, this card should be a 10. But unfortunately, there is whiting at the top. It's not the worst whiting in the world. It's a little off-center. I'm going to guess 9. A 10 would have definitely been in the realm if it was not for that whiting. Oh, what a mirror finish. That's probably the most perfect holographic I've ever seen on a vintage card. So we will guess 9 for that Typhlosion as well. Now, these aren't some of my usual PSA cards, I would say. It's a little bit newer series, but I've got no issue with sending in the newer stuff as long as I know it's kind of a really good stuff in terms of pull and what it could possibly be. So even though it's newer cards, pulling older Pokemon and newer cards is still fine. So pulling a Charmeleon, Charmander, or Charizard, almost guaranteed to be worth it. Oh, I just now noticed where they kind of put the writing in the border on this one to make room for some of the other details. So yeah, this is Charmeleon. If you don't know, I'd be surprised if you didn't. Reverse hollow. Nicely done. And everything looks to be really pristine, so this one should be a 10. That's my guess. And he was a packed pull on the series, actually, when we opened up the Vivid Voltage booster box. Now, I thought about buying a Vivid Voltage booster box today. However, I didn't close out on some of my stocks, so I didn't. Maybe next time. Hopefully they still have them. And this is the Charizard we also pulled from the same box. He wasn't from the same pack, obviously, but he was from the same box. And he's reverse hollow. Now there's 2 types of Charizards actually for Vivid Voltage. There's the Vivid Voltage promo one, which actually goes for a good bit. And there's this one. This one does not go for as much as the promo. The promo is actually harder to get, which is kind of rare. Usually a promo is easier to get than the other cards. There's a itty bitty thing of whiting, but super tiny. I don't think it's enough to knock it down from a 10 to a 9. I'm gonna guess, there is more than one set of whiting though. I'm gonna guess 9 to 10. It's just too minuscule for me to say it should go down to a 9, but I also like to try and get things right. It's more satisfying. So, hold on. 9 to 10. I'm just gonna leave the pen out. I don't know why I keep bringing it in. to me, this is a really cool card. This Kyogre is pretty cool. There are definitely some cooler looking Kyogres, but this one's pretty cool. Um, I think they make a rainbow version, but I'm only guessing that because this card also has already currently those ridges that they do in the newer cards. It feels really good to the touch. It's a nice solid card. Everything looks really good on the front. Centering looks fine to me. On the back, we do have, it's not whiting, it's like there's just a glimmer in the way. There's a little nick. Nothing crazy. Centering looks pretty fine. It's technically whiting. I guess we'll count it as whiting. So maybe an 8 to 9. There's more whiting than I would like. I didn't see that earlier, but I still think it's a card worth getting graded and holding on to. So, although I do have several stacks of 20 to go through, this one, I just grabbed this stack randomly. I'll say 8 to 9. I grabbed this stack randomly and just happened to have some of the newer cards. Here's another Kyogre. I like the way where they put the actual thing right here, the whole title for these promos. Really solid. Looks like some dirt. Focus. Oh, good, it came off. Oh, little bit, tiny bit thicker on the left side than the right. Other than that, everything's pretty good on the front. Some minor whiting, a little bit off centering. 8 to 9. There's more whiting on the corners. It is a little difficult because I am filming this over a white piece of paper. I try and put my hands that aren't totally white to show the whiting more so. It's one thing I run into every now and then when I'm buying cards from eBay and or people off Facebook, just any sort of purchase on the internet for cards. You'll typically get people do a picture and they'll usually do it in the case. And I'll typically, of course, ask for pictures outside the case. They'll do pictures outside the case, but then they'll do it over a white background. And this one has some thick borders. Oh yeah, it is off-center. Definitely very thick at the top. Would have been nice if this was the misprint and or first edition, but it is neither. Still fine. Still a good card to get graded. Some whiting at the top. Some whiting on the sides. Ooh, that is a rough corner. That is a very rough corner. I don't even think we'll say in the 8s. We'll probably just say a flat 7. Now, let me see if you can see what I'm talking about. Generally, you'll get people who will, and there is some black outline, so it makes it stand out, but you can kind of see how much easier it is to see when I put my hand behind it versus when I remove my hand. Some of the whiting that's minor, that kind of adds to it, just sort of disappears. You're focused on that bottom left corner, but if you notice the whiting to the side over here, pretty much completely disappears till I put my hand behind it. So the corner is a real big one. It's kind of obvious, but all that minor stuff that kind of adds up against you goes away. And you'll get people who sell their cards like this, or even when you meet, get you to meet them in person, and either hope you don't take a second look at the card, or you take a second look, but they've already drawn you to come that distance, and or if they met you, it's still taking up some of your time. They're still hoping to sell you the card. Maybe they'll negotiate something else out with it. So this next one, everyone kind of likes. I think I like the Amazing Rares as well. I like the Amazing Rares because they're not too overdone. In terms of overdone, I don't like rainbow cards because it's too much. Now, Jirachi in the Amazing Rares is kind of just a little bit of like the paintbrush fell out of the square and kind of got on the rest of the card. So it's pretty cool. It's got a little texturing, nothing crazy. They put some hollow here, they put some hollow in the elemental symbol, they put some hollow in these energies there, and they put some hollow here and there. I think it's just the right amount to make something really stand out without being too much. Now this is a fresh pack pull card. We pulled this also from the Vivid Voltage booster box. The back isn't perfect, but it's pretty good. We're going to guess 9 to 10. It should come back a 10. It is a fresh pull pack. It is, you know, supposedly a perfect card, but we'll see. We're going to guess 9 to 10. And then, of course, following up with that, we follow up with another amazing rare. We follow up with the amazing rare Celebi. And same thing, and the way the paint or holographic is actually a little bit different too. It's not the same exact thing. Jirachi's more of a swirl, Celebi's more of a splash, and they do that I think for every last amazing rare. The pattern, they actually have their own unique sort of hollow foil pattern too, which is cool. Centering looks great. It looks like they definitely did a little bit more time for doing the cards correctly for Vivid Voltage in terms of, you know, allowing for defaults. A little off-centering, but nothing crazy. We'll say 9, hopefully 10 though, but we're just going to guess a flat 9, only because of centering, but really it's not that crazy of centering. Heck, we'll say 9 to 10. Now this next card's pretty much the next best thing you can get without getting the absolute best thing. So we did pull the Pikachu VMAX in our first Vivid Voltage booster box, which was pretty nice. We wanted the Rainbow Chonkers, but just getting standard VMAX Chonkers was still a really nice pull. We got a lot of pulls that were pretty, you know, pretty much high pulls in the booster box, so we really can't complain. Everything looks fine centering wise. It's a little hard to tell though with these type of cards. The back, it's a little off center, but we're going to guess 9 to 10. Nothing wrong with this card. It was a fresh pack pull. I would pretty much, I've argued it in a previous episode a while ago, like I want to say like 50 episodes ago. I would argue that you should pretty much always get any Pikachu graded. As much as Charizard has his own, you know, notoriety and is notorious in the Pokemon community, Pikachu is the main character of the show. Now this was cool too, because this was also a pull from our Vivid Voltage booster box. In fact, after going over all these, I might just go ahead and buy another Vivid Voltage booster box, because we had quite a few good pulls. Although that doesn't necessarily mean that the value will hold. If everyone's doing good pulls, then, well, of course the value will fall. But this was a good pull. I've never seen this Pokemon till now, till I did Vivid Voltage booster box. Centering looks fine. We're just going to guess a flat 10. I'll be really surprised if it doesn't. But then, you know, I have a really hard time telling what is wrong with these rainbow cards. They're just really kind of hard to look at, but it is what it is. It is kind of funny. I don't mean to be mean. I'm certain they'll go back up. But it is kind of funny to see these new Charizards when they come out. Right after release, they have a huge, huge, huge price tag, knowing that they're going to be printed several times. And people buy and sell them as quickly as they can, get them graded as quickly as they can. I'll tell you, it is a little off left to right. And then the price falls like a rocket, or like a rock, or a rocket pointed downward. Ooh, yeah, that is bad centering. We're going to guess 8, 9, just as the centering is really bad on this one. I usually wouldn't give a pack pull card an 8, but that's some pretty atrocious centering. So yeah, that is fine to me, and the only reason why I'm mentioning that is that I was in the bid running for a, well, there was someone on Facebook Marketplace selling a Rainbow Rare Charizard for, they were asking, I think, $350, and they lowered down to $325, and I think they just recently lowered to $300 asking for it. Oh, and I figured out the difference between the Togerkisses. This Togerkiss is a full art. So, if you didn't see, we pulled both these Togerkisses from the exact same box. I'm pretty certain it's a full art because the border is different, but the fin cuts off. Interesting. But it is from the exact same series. They're both from Vivid Voltage of 185. So it's interesting that they put 2 Togerkisses in there. Centering looks good. It's a fresh pack pull. Centering is a little worse on the back. We'll say 9 to 10. And so the dude was selling a Vivid Voltage Rainbow Rare. Not Vivid Voltage, was selling a Rainbow Rare VMAX Charizard. And his price lowered and lowered and lowered. And then while he was doing that, I went ahead and looked at selling them on eBay, and there was one that was already PSA 9 that was just within the $300 range, and it only had like 15 minutes left. So it was really surprising that it was still so low. Granted, the last minute on an eBay bid is where things get pretty nuts. And it sold for $405, and it was a PSA 9. My last bid was $400, so I lost it by $5. But I don't know if it was that big of a loss, because it kind of shows the true value of the card. And this is really cool. I really want more of these. Now, granted, again, I don't mean to keep these around. The PSA is just super slow. However, this is really cool. I really like how it has all the Pokeballs and then some sort of star pattern that's kind of a throwback to the original pattern almost, in terms of it being called the star pattern. But the Pokeballs in the background is really awesome. There's a lot going on here. It's Mantric like in a city with lightning coming everywhere. This is from the EX Emerald series. It's in fairly good condition. They added some holo into the name and into the HP. He's in pretty good condition. I'd say a flat 9. There is some minor stuff that adds up. But I'm willing to say flat 9 for him. I'd be really surprised. But it's a really cool card. You know, although I do tend to be the investor, I do enjoy, and I've said it multiple times, I do enjoy getting to have these little pieces of art pass through my hands and share them with everyone else. Now, this is a cool Umbreon to me, and he actually doesn't go for that much, surprisingly. Now, I would take advantage of this. Umbreon always seems to be a fan favorite. Umbreon is probably the coolest EV evolution, in my opinion. Oh, so it's not whiting. It's just how it's being hit by the light. This one is kind of hard to find in good condition, because when they did this run of these cards, the hollow foil doesn't scratch up very easily. Granted, it looks like it's a bunch of scratches anyways. It's very cool too. It's like disco hit, like music video attack fighting scene background. But this material itself for the cards is very flimsy, so it doesn't stand up very well. Oh no, this one's a little stiffer. I remember I had some of these of this series that were really like flimsy. Now there is some whiting up at top. It's nothing too crazy. Some off-centering, left to right and top to bottom. We'll just guess this flat 8. A 10 would have been fantastic. Definitely have been money made from the top, but we can wait it out. Umbreon actually picks up value fairly quickly, and you can get those for fairly cheap too. I think I've seen them for as low as $2 to $4. In pretty much that similar condition, so I'd really suggest it. I think I paid $2 for that one. Now, the last few of these cards, I do kind of know that they're really not the oldest cards, and they're really not the newest cards. And then to add to it, they're also a little bit more beat up, but they're still hollow foils, and they're not ones you see every day. So we've got a Torterra, level 45, stage 2. Interesting hollow foil background, not the neatest. There's some like dirt up top, some silvering. The rest of the border's pretty good. All foil's in good condition. There's some wax scratches. There's some more whiting on the corners. Whiting there. I don't think it'll get a 6, although it is a lot of whiting on the back. But we'll go ahead and guess 6 to 7. I just know the PSA takes whiting really seriously. Like, I think they take whiting more seriously than like actual scratch on the hollow foil. Okay, so next one is a level 54 Star Raptor. Has a swirl, which is interesting because I thought they did away with the swirl once they got into some of the newer cards, but I guess not yet for these. Some minor scratches. Other than that, still pretty good hollow foil background. It's kind of funny. If you hold it like this, it's clear that he's in the sky and the sun's behind him. If you hold it like this, let's see here, it looks like he's at nighttime and the moon's behind him. It's a very interesting hollow foil pattern. Now there is some scratches you can't see, quite a few. I'm trying to make them aware. There's some silvering on the sides, some corner damage. Oh, and there's some bleed. I hope that's good for us. Is this a sticker? It's just that it's so flimsy, and there's a crease here. doesn't quite feel right. Let me see something. No, it's sort of splitting. That's cringe for me too, folks. I may have just damaged an actual card trying to figure out if it's a sticker or not. It's just such a smooth card, it doesn't feel right. Interesting. Okay, folks, we may have to do a little emergency trade out. Not a huge deal. Just stay with me real quick. So we'll repenny sleeve that one in a second. We'll go ahead and trade him out with a Eternatus V. This was also a pack pull. Definitely off-centered. Front and back off-centered. Everything else is pretty good on the card. So we will go ahead and get him graded in the meantime as a switch off. And I'll fix those stats in a second. We're going to guess 9 as the centering is actually pretty atrocious on this one. And we're going to do Darkness Ablaze. Eternatus V 116 out of 189. Sorry about interruption, folks. That was really weird. I don't want to waste money sending in a fake card to the PSA, although I may do that as a part of a video with a card that I do know is fake if I find one, and see what the PSA does when I send it in. Let me see something. These are supposed to be the same series. Maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe this is real. It just has a weird gloss feeling to it, like too smooth or something. There's lots of bleed. Huh. I'll hold off to the side for now. So we've got a Cresselia, level 48. Never seen this Pokemon until now. No bleed. I wonder if that bleed is intentional. Sorry. There's no bleed on him either, on Torterra. Because and you know, they have had bleeds in the past, but it just looks like an intentional bleed. All the way down to the point that there's another swirl down there. I wish he was in better condition, that's for certain, but we'll come back to him. So we've got this Cresselia, level 48. Borders are fine. The hollow foils, in the most part, looks like in pretty good condition. There's some silvering at the top, nothing nuts. The back bordering is fine. There's some whiting here and there. We'll say 8 to 9. Oh wow, we may have this video done in less than 30 minutes. Let's see. Definitely would if it wasn't for the interruption, but it will be fine. Okay, so we got a reverse hollow Rampardos, level 54. He's got, yeah, scratches here and there. I don't know how hard they grade against scratches though for a whole reverse hollow card. But we're going to be extra critical on ourselves. Centering's good on the front. Some pretty crucial whiting there. We'll say 7. Just because of all the scratches on the front, to be honest. Yeah, we'll say 7. Alright, I think another fan favorite. I think everyone really likes Crobat. So we've got a Crobat here. A reverse hollow, level 44. He's got more scratches than I wish he'd have on him. Other than that, still pretty good finish. Centering's pretty good. Whiting's pretty minimal. Um, we're going just between a 7 to 8 for him because he's got less whiting that's not so rough compared to the Rampado. So we'll say 7 to 8. No, not 78. And yeah, we're just going to take a second look at this Star Raptor later. We'll put him in a penny sleeve and do that. I got a penny sleeve right here. He may be for a different thing, I don't know. Maybe we'll send him in a BGS since he's a bleed and we'll see how that goes for us. I'm pretty certain he's real. There's just certain things that throw me off. There's so many fakes out there. I don't want to send a fake in. Although if I do get a confirmed fake and send it in, I like to see how the PSA reacts if they even notice and they take that into account. I'm tracking they do, but it would be interesting to see. Other than that, guys, that completes this set of 20. Hope you enjoyed it. Try to make these a little bit quicker. Sorry, there really just isn't too much to rant about right now. I'm really enjoying things, and I hope maybe there'll be another giveaway and someone, of course, wins. Ta-ta for now.